Welcome to this video exploring the life, ideas, works, and enduring influence of Friedrich Nietzsche. We will take a detailed look at one of philosophy's most provocative thinkers. This show is brought to you by Series of Thoughts as part of their Great Thinkers series. We begin with Chapter 1, The Man Behind the Philosophy. To understand Nietzsche's revolutionary ideas, we must first examine his origins and the experiences that shaped him. Friedrich Wilhelm Nietzsche was born in 1844 into a deeply religious Prussian family. His early life was marked by the loss of his father, a Lutheran minister. Raised by his mother and sister, he displayed extraordinary intellectual gifts, becoming a full professor of classical philology at the University of Basel by the unprecedented age of 24. Nietzsche's life included a deep, but ultimately broken, friendship with composer Richard Wagner. Their initial meeting in 1868 led to Nietzsche's first major work, The Birth of Tragedy, which supported Wagner's vision. However, growing disillusionment with Wagner's nationalism and anti-Semitism led to a complete break by 1882, catalyzing Nietzsche's transition to his mature, radical philosophy. This portrait from circa 1875 captures Nietzsche's intellectual intensity. His expression reflects a mind wrestling with fundamental questions about truth and existence, already planting the seeds of his revolutionary philosophical journey. Chapter 2 delves into Nietzsche's core philosophical ideas. His concepts, the death of God, will to power, eternal recurrence, and the Overman, form a comprehensive system aimed at reorienting human values toward life affirmation. The death of God is Nietzsche's diagnosis of a cultural crisis, the collapse of traditional religious and metaphysical certainties in Europe. This inevitable crisis leads to nihilism, a sense of meaninglessness. Nietzsche's solution was the revaluation of all values, creating new meaning grounded in life itself. The will to power is the fundamental drive for growth, self-overcoming, and self-realization in all living things. It manifests creatively in art and intellect, seeking enhancement and thriving beyond mere survival. The key is channeling this inevitable drive constructively through self-mastery. Eternal recurrence is a radical thought experiment. Could you will your exact life, with all its details, to recur infinitely? This is the ultimate test of life affirmation. It demands full responsibility for our choices and eliminates any appeal to otherworldly hopes, forcing meaning to be found in this temporal existence. The Overman, or Übermensch, represents humanity's highest potential. This figure overcomes herd morality, creates personal life-affirming values, and practices self-mastery. The Overman is not a final destination, but an ongoing project, a bridge toward higher forms of human existence. Chapter 3 explores Nietzsche's major works and their impact. His literary output was produced during a brief but intense career, working through aphorisms and poetic philosophy rather than systematic treatises. Key publications include The Birth of Tragedy, 1872, which introduced the Apollonian and Dionysian forces. Human, All Too Human, 1878, marked his break with idealism. The Gay Science, 1882, introduced the death of God and eternal recurrence. Thus Spoke Zarathustra, 1883 to 1885, presented the Overman ideal. Beyond Good and Evil, 1886, systematically critiqued morality, and On the Genealogy of Morals, 1887, pioneered genealogical critique. Nietzsche's style was deliberately literary, using aphorisms and poetic prose to express philosophical truth. He was a, quote, philosopher with a hammer, using provocative rhetoric to challenge assumptions. For him, philosophy was an existential therapy, a tool for life transformation rather than a sterile academic exercise. Chapter 4 addresses Nietzsche's influence across fields. His radical critique of Western values and his psychological insights have permeated an extraordinary range of intellectual and cultural movements, from existentialism to psychoanalysis and beyond. In philosophy, Nietzsche is foundational for existentialism, influencing thinkers like Sartre and Camus on individual freedom and value creation. Heidegger established him as crucial to continental thought, while Foucault and Derrida built on his genealogical method to analyze power and knowledge. Nietzsche deeply influenced psychology. Freud saw striking agreement between his own work and Nietzsche's intuitions about the unconscious and morality. Jung's concept of individuation resonated with the call to self-overcoming, and Alfred Adler explicitly incorporated the will to power into individual psychology. His impact extends to literature, influencing major writers across Europe. In theology, his fierce anti-Christianity led to crucial engagement, including the Death of God movement. Even in popular culture, his themes of self-empowerment and overcoming limitations persist. This visual demonstrates the sheer breadth of Nietzsche's intellectual influence. His ideas spread across diverse disciplines, continually branching and connecting, ensuring his legacy belongs to the broader culture of questioning and radical thought. Chapter 5 covers Nietzsche's legacy and controversies. His thought has generated passionate debates, particularly due to the historical distortion of his work by Nazi ideology, which his sister Elizabeth facilitated. Despite historical misappropriation, post-war scholarship has rehabilitated Nietzsche, revealing his explicit rejection of nationalism and anti-Semitism. Today, his critique of metaphysics and psychological insights are celebrated, continuing to fuel debates about elitism and ethics. Ultimately, his enduring legacy lies in the perennial invitation: become who you are.